Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video we're going to be adding on to our trading tutorial series from last time, only this time we're not going to be focusing so much on technicals. We'll be kind of focusing on more of what makes a short squeeze and the phenomena behind these kind of momentum plays. And to do this we're going to be using some of the stocks from today's list. So with every short squeeze setup there has to be these three basic elements in play. The first being a high short interest, the second being increasing inflow, and the third being staying power. So with high short interest, what this basically means is you want to see close to or greater than 100% short interest, and what short interest is the amount of shares sold short divided by the amount of shares outstanding. So greater than 100% would indicate more shares being sold short than the amount of shares that are actually circulating to be traded. So with increasing inflow, what this basically means is more green candles, more money coming into the stock, more buys, less sells. And the third, staying power, being kind of, you're not afraid to hold for 5 days or 6 days or however many days it takes to get those gains. So just think AMC, for example, that is a fine example of staying power. As a matter of fact, at one point they had stayed so long that the stock had multiplied several times over, really burning the capital of a lot of institutional short sellers. So to kind of get right into it, we're going to use ATER as an example of a momentum play with short squeeze characteristics. So this is a stock that we have been covering for quite some time now. We had covered it all the way from the 3 range to the 7+ range through a course of several days. Now it looks like we're kind of reaching an area of consolidation along this channel from the $4.50 to $6 region, give or take a few cents. And what I really think is interesting here is the fact that it's holding on to that strength and really consolidating in this horizontal channel. And it looks like we might be kind of reaching for a new little channel here. This one I'm calling channel 2. If it can confirm this during the pre-market session today, I think we really could be seeing some stronger short squeeze characteristics on this one. Here I took off the horizontal resistance and support lines so you can see a little more clearly kind of what I'm talking about. What I'm watching in particular with ATER this week is a short squeeze setup driven by this inflow of momentum and kind of positive sentiment towards this company. The fact that there are 0 shares to be borrowed right now, and there is a failed to deliver risk associated with most of these short positions that are open. What a failed to deliver kind of basically means is that you could think of this as being a short seller's repo man. So failed to deliver warnings kind of get issued usually whenever there are few or no shares to be borrowed and the date to cover is getting closer and closer. So the issuer typically sends out the warning like, hey, there may or may not be shares for you to repurchase to cover this position, so your risk is inherently much higher. Here's a 15-minute chart of ATER from last Tuesday where you can see it clearly holding on to that strong support line at the 512 region where it bounced up kind of towards the end of the day, more so during the after hours session. So this strong consolidation to me tells me that there's more staying power to be seen here, and the more staying power that there is to be seen here paired with more inflow, likewise probably is going to result in more of a short interest and a heightened amount of short sellers on this stock, because every time this runs up they seem to pile on even harder. So if we can maintain this staying power here, I would not be surprised to see more mass short sell positions being liquidated throughout the rest of this week. Next we have BRQS, and this is definitely showing some short squeeze characteristics. This one's running very hard on news of a partnership with Qualcomm and some other big names to kind of be a provider for e-scooters in the Indian market. Now this is a very big deal in my opinion because that market is very dense and very much in need of things like this, especially in the overcrowded urban areas. So obviously this one's showing some short squeeze characteristics and some very heightened momentum as we move up this horizontal channel you see here. What I'm watching for is it to hold this region right here, the lower band of that ascending channel, and if it doesn't, I would be watching to see it consolidate and hold the next level of support, which would be right around here. I don't expect too much. We should have to worry about this region in particular because I think with the sentiment being so fresh and this stock being beaten down so much in the recent years, I think that we should definitely be expecting some more consolidation in this channel and hoping for some stronger upside as we move towards the end of this week. Maybe we can see some short squeeze characteristics heightened in the stock as well. Here's a nice close shot of the 15-minute chart where you can see that maintained uptrend and consolidation along that horizontal resistance, but also maintaining that uptrend in this ascending channel that we've mentioned on Webull over the last couple of days. So I'm looking for an upper level of resistance to be broken today around the 44-cent range. If we can do that, I think that it would be off to the 45, 46, and so on. However, if not, I think we definitely need to watch for the support around this horizontal region as we've mentioned. This is a key level in my opinion. Should we break through this region and our ascending channel, our next region of support would probably be somewhere along this line. So these are the key areas that I am watching today. So next on our list for potential short squeeze candidates this week is VERU, and we covered this one not too long ago when it was having some crazy price action following the results of some successful data in a drug trial that they had. It was in fact so successful they shut the trial down early, were able to move to the next phases. So just the other day this one reported phase 2 data out of another COVID drug trial. This time it was reported in a European conference. This was also some pretty good data, so it seems to have gotten this stock awakened again. So this is a very, very solid company with a solid pipeline, and they, as of late, have had a very strong success streak in terms of their stock. And this strong horizontal support will definitely be a region that we're going to be watching for the remainder of the week, especially today, to see if we can't confirm consolidation along the support line and not see it turn back into resistance. I definitely don't want to see that happen. If it does, this one's off the list for this week. So here is a closer look of the MACD and the RSI for VERU. Now this one was taken after the day was over on Tuesday's session. So what I'm noticing here is that it ended the day with a bit of upward sentiment on both the MACD and on the RSI. And usually with these kind of things, that they're going to be just a pump and dump, or they're not going to show much more strength the next day, usually you're going to see a rapid sell-off towards the last 30 minutes of the day, right before the market is officially closed. People don't like to hold these positions overnight if they are feeling afraid. So what is being indicated by these charts here is that there is a bit of staying power that I'm noticing. So people are kind of adding last minute before the over hours session to swing this as a good trade for the next day. But most importantly, a lot of people are holding on to these shares and maybe even averaging down to kind of keep this upward momentum going that we saw towards the end of the day. So if this is able to hold during the pre-market session and leading into the market open, I think that VERU definitely could show some strong short squeeze characteristics for the day ahead, but especially for the rest of the week. So I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen and heard traders claiming that a short squeeze is guaranteed to happen for X, Y, and Z stock. I would never personally believe this. If I were you, I would always weigh up the pros and the cons, and I'm really hoping this video kind of shed a little bit of light, or at least introduced you to the broad topic of what makes a short squeeze. So next time we're going to be talking more about trading technicals as we add to our trading tutorial series, and more options trading strategies as well.